Well, that was a good story. And if you want to follow Brian's journey on Instagram, you can do it. The Now Foundation is a great place to go. Look it up and figure out how you would like to help. All right, time for some neighborly advice with Matt Onest. And Matt, thank you for joining us.
Nice to be here.
I don't like coffee, so I prefer Diet Coke. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
All right, so we're having cannolis at Giorgio's, and I'm gonna grab one.
You go right ahead.
Probably while you talk about something is when I'll take my first bite.
I'll try to keep the food out of my mouth.
If you're from this area at all, you know this whole Ursuline situation, and there's a lot of court cases going on. These guys want to play, they're not allowed to play. So we just started to talk more about the appeals process. If you lose a case, turns out, in any case, you have a chance to appeal, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
how's it work?
So how it works is, the first thing we always deal is you're in a court, you get a judge and a jury. That's kind of the first thing, and I think that's the law and order aspect.
Right,
That's
right.
what we think about. But then the question becomes, you may spend 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years fighting that. What happens if you lose? Well, in Ohio, you're given the right to appeal that immediately. Now you have 30 days. That's the key part.
Okay.
Your case is over, done. You've got 30 days to ask for another.
Send in your appeal.
Yes,
Okay.
and you send it in, say, I want to appeal it, and then what you do is you go to a different court, and eventually you're going to be able to have a hearing in front of 3 judges.
Okay.
Now, key thing, the clients don't really participate in that.
Oh, good.
The people that fight it, you're not up there under oath getting questions asked.
Do you have to go at all?
No, you don't have to go.
So it's your lawyer against their lawyer pleading your case.
Yeah, and it's kind of the boring part of it, unfortunately. It's written documents. So my written arguments against your written arguments, your attorney sends written arguments against my arguments, I get to do one more written arguments, and then we get to go eventually in front of those 3 judges, and we get 30 minutes total to argue our case. And then those 3 judges have to decide whether or not, who wins.
And so it's just best of 3. If 2 say yes and 1 says no, you win.
It's majority, yes.
Are any of these judges the old judge that you had the first time?
No, absolutely not.
Are they familiar with the case at all, typically?
They will be familiar with the case because they're going to read whatever you submit, and they're going to look at what was submitted below, right? Because you got to make sure you do a good job first.
Okay.
At that lower court, right? That first time, you got to make sure you get everything in. Make your arguments, get all your evidence, get all your witnesses, because when you get up to that Court of Appeals, they are only allowed to look at what you did below.
Okay.
They're not allowed to, so let's say you come up with some sort of amazing argument later on. If you didn't raise that below, you're really never going to be able to raise it again.
Okay.
So it's important to kind of have that dialogue with your attorney throughout to make sure the case is going early how you would want it to go in case you do lose.
Why wouldn't you appeal your case if you lose?
There's a variety of reasons. Sometimes you just may be tired.
Just had enough.
2, 3 years, because these cases can last that long. You might just get tired and say, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to spend the money anymore. Or you might have that conversation with your attorney and they decide, listen, maybe this isn't something we should be doing.
Might not be able to win.
It might not be able to win.
Okay. Any other advice that you would give if you're going in front of those 3 judges at once? How often do you guys do this?
Well, we do appeals all the time throughout Ohio. Yeah, throughout here, So I would say there's probably more cases that don't get appealed than do get appealed. However, like I said, your first round, you are entitled to ask for that appeal.
Oh, excellent stuff. That's your neighborly advice for this Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
You better get one of these.
All right, I'll grab one.
Okay, in the meantime, we'll take a break and meet some fantastic kids to get some big names on their podcast. Be right back.